What's going on, NFL fans, especially those following the Miami Dolphins? We've got an interesting twist in the ongoing Jalen Ramsey trade saga, and it comes from none other than his superstar teammate, Tyreek Hill. As most of you know, for the past few weeks, the Miami Dolphins and Jalen Ramsey have been exploring a potential trade for the star cornerback. It seemed like both sides were open to a move, and many believed it was just a matter when, not if, Ramsey would be dealt. However, Tyreek Hill has thrown a fascinating wrench into those assumptions. It seems the Cheetah definitely does not want to see Ramsey leave Miami. Just to recap the Ramsey situation, Miami gave Ramsey a 3-year, $72.3 million contract extension before the 2024 season. But less than a year later, reports surfaced that the Dolphins were looking to move on from him. With the team actively seeking a trade partner, Ramsey has been staying away, recently skipping the mandatory minicamp. A trade has felt almost inevitable. But enter Tyreek Hill. Speaking at Fanatics Fest on Sunday, Hill made his stance crystal clear. He said, and I quote, "I'm going to go hang out with Ramsey next week. I'm going to fight back, full court press. I'm going to bring Ramsey back in a Dolphins jersey. I don't care what they say, tampering, whatever. We need Ramsey. He's a dog, one of the best corners in the league, a great leader and a great teammate too. We just need him on the Dolphins." Strong words from Hill. Now, Ramsey had a solid season for the Dolphins last year. 60 tackles, 2 interceptions, 11 pass breakups, and a sack. It was, however, the first time since his rookie season that he wasn't named to the Pro Bowl. There's no doubt Ramsey is still an effective player, but the Dolphins front office reportedly views his contract as a bit too expensive, which is why they've been exploring trade options. Clearly, not everyone in the Dolphins organization, or at least on the roster, agrees with that assessment. Tyreek Hill still sees Ramsey as a premier playmaker and is actively campaigning for the team to keep him in Miami. Hill himself is no stranger to trade rumors, having dealt with them frequently this offseason. But it seems if he's staying, he wants Ramsey right there with him. For now, most signs still point toward the Jalen Ramsey trade eventually happening. But who knows? Maybe Tyreek Hill's public lobbying and private conversations could actually influence the situation and change the course of Ramsey's future in Miami. It's certainly a development worth watching. What do you guys think? Can Tyreek Hill actually convince Ramsey and the Dolphins to stick together? Or is a trade still the most likely outcome? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. What's up, NFL fans? The Jalen Ramsey trade watch continues, and we got some fresh intel that points toward a specific geographic preference for the star cornerback and could open the door for a major NFC powerhouse. According to ESPN's Adam Schefter, Jalen Ramsey will be traded, likely before training camp kicks off. And here's the kicker. Schefter mentioned that Ramsey would ideally like to return to the West Coast. He specifically said, "I think he'd like to go West Coast, LA, Rams, Chargers, somewhere like that." Now, Ramsey, as you know, played for the Los Angeles Rams from 2019 to 2022, so a desire to return to that area makes a lot of sense. However, there are some financial hurdles for his former team. The Rams currently have about $21.8 million in cap space, and Ramsey is due to make over $25 million in 2025. That might be too rich for them. Similarly, the Los Angeles Chargers have around $27.5 million in cap space, so they might also be hesitant to take on Ramsey's contract. But this is where things get very interesting for another West Coast team, the San Francisco 49ers. The Niners are currently sitting on over $46 million in cap space. That's the second most in the entire NFL. Financially, they can absolutely afford Jalen Ramsey. And what would he cost in terms of trade compensation? Considering the Miami Dolphins seem keen to offload his contract, the article suggests he probably wouldn't cost more than a 5th-round pick. That's potentially incredible value for a player of his caliber. So, the big question is, do the 49ers want to spend $25 million this year on a 30-year-old defensive back? Well, let's look at the facts. Ramsey played in all 17 games for the Dolphins last season, and according to Pro Football Focus, he graded out better than any defensive back currently on the 49ers roster. This means, despite his age and contract, He would be an instant upgrade for their secondary. An expensive upgrade, yes, but an upgrade nonetheless. Imagine adding Jalen Ramsey to that already formidable 49ers defense. It's a tantalizing prospect for Niners fans and a scary thought for the rest of the NFC. So, with Ramsey wanting a West Coast return and the 49ers having the cap space and a potential need for an elite corner, could this be a match made in football heaven? The Dolphins need to move him. The price might be right, and the fit seems logical. What do you guys think? Should the 49ers pull the trigger on a trade for Jalen Ramsey? Would he put their defense over the top? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below.